One president? Come on, the idea seems almost laughable at first glance. Imagine the sheer magnitude of responsibility and power concentrated in the hands of a single individual. It's a concept that feels more like a plot from a dystopian novel than a feasible reality. Picture this. One leader for the whole planet, a single figurehead representing the diverse tapestry of humanity. It's a vision that could either unite us in unprecedented ways or unravel the very fabric of our global society. Like a super-sized mayor for Earth. It sounds like a bad sci-fi movie, right? But let's entertain the thought for a moment. What would it take to govern a planet? The logistics alone are mind-boggling. The cultural nuances, the political intricacies, the economic disparities, all under the purview of one leader. But hold on, let's break it down. What kind of person would be capable of such a monumental task? Would they be a visionary, a diplomat, a strategist, or perhaps a combination of all three? And how would they be chosen? Through a global election, by a council of nations? The possibilities are as endless as they are complex. What if there really was just one president calling the shots? The power dynamics would shift dramatically. National interest would have to be balanced with global priorities. The leader would need to be a master of compromise, a beacon of integrity, and a paragon of wisdom. Would it be a beautiful symphony of global unity or a chaotic free-for-all? Imagine the campaign promises: no more border disputes, world peace finally, free trade for everyone. The rhetoric would be grand, but the reality could be far more complicated. The challenges of implementing such sweeping changes would be immense. It sounds tempting, almost like a politician's fever dream. The allure of a unified world under a single banner is strong, but history has shown us that power, when concentrated, can lead to corruption and tyranny. The checks and balances that exist within individual nations would need to be magnified on a global scale. But before we hand over the keys to the planet, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. What safeguards would be in place to prevent abuse of power? How would accountability be maintained? These are questions that need thorough examination and thoughtful answers. Because, as we all know, the devil is in the details. The dream of a single global leader is fraught with potential pitfalls. It's a concept that requires not just idealism, but rigorous scrutiny and pragmatic planning. Only then can we truly assess whether it's a path worth pursuing. First things first, who gets to be the big cheese? Choosing one leader for 7 billion people. Good luck with that. Every country would want their guy or gal in charge. It'd be like the world's most awkward family dinner, except with nuclear weapons. Then there's the whole government thing. Do we keep the United Nations? Invent a new system entirely? And what about all the different political ideologies? Trying to cram communism and capitalism into the same room never really ends well. Let's talk about everyone's favorite subject: money. A global president could mean a global economy. One currency, one trade policy, maybe even one giant stock market. Sounds simple, right? Not so fast. Rich countries might get richer, poor countries might stay stuck. And who decides how all that sweet, sweet cash gets divvied up? The potential for corruption would be off the charts. We'd need an auditor the size of Jupiter to keep track of all that moolah. Now, imagine trying to blend every culture into one big melting pot. What language would they speak at United Nations meetings? Whose national holidays would we celebrate? Would everyone have to eat pizza? Okay, maybe that last one isn't so bad. The point is, the world is a beautifully diverse place, but forcing everyone into the same cultural box, that's a recipe for disaster. It's like trying to make a smoothie out of broccoli, gummy bears, and tuna. It just doesn't work. Section 5. Whose rules sovereignty says? Nope, here's a big one. National sovereignty. It's the principle that a state has the authority to govern itself without outside interference. This concept has been the cornerstone of international relations for centuries. That's the idea that each country gets to make its own rules. From laws about trade and immigration to education and healthcare, sovereignty means having the power to decide what's best for your own people. But with a global president, that goes out the window faster than a toupee in a hurricane. Imagine a single leader trying to create policies that work for every country, every culture, and every unique situation. It's a logistical nightmare. Countries would basically be giving up their independence. No more national flags, no more anthems, no more unique identities that make each nation special. It would be a massive shift in how we understand governance and identity. No more making your own laws or controlling your own borders. Think about it. No more customs checks, no more border control. It sounds convenient, but it also means losing control over who comes in and out of your country. Some folks would be thrilled. They'd see it as a step towards global unity and peace. Others, not so much. They'd argue it's a loss of freedom and self-determination. Imagine the protests, the riots, the endless debates on cable news. It'd be absolute mayhem. People would be glued to their screens, watching pundits argue about the pros and cons. Social media would explode with opinions, memes, and hashtags. The world would be in a constant state of debate and unrest. Section 6.1 law to rule them all. Good luck with that. Speaking of laws, could you imagine trying to create one legal system for everyone? It'd be a lawyer's dream and everyone else's nightmare. What's legal in one part of the world might be a big no-no somewhere else. Think about things like freedom of speech, religious practices, even driving laws. Trying to find a compromise that makes everyone happy. Yeah, good luck with that. It'd be easier to herd cats. Section 7, happy campers or pitchfork mob, public reactions. So how would people actually react to all this? It'd be a mixed bag, to say the least. Some folks would be all in on the idea of global unity. Others would be building bunkers in their backyards. There would be rallies, debates, probably even a few strongly worded letters to the editor. Social media would be a dumpster fire. The internet would probably break. It would be pure chaos, at least for a while. Section 8. Life after one world, one What changes? Let's say somehow this whole global president thing actually happened. How would daily life change? Well, for starters, you could forget about that European vacation. No more borders means no more passports required. Your taxes would probably get a whole lot more complicated. And good luck figuring out the new time zones. But hey, at least you wouldn't have to learn another language to watch foreign films. Silver linings, people. Section 9, so Utopia or hot mess, the verdict's still out. So there you have it. We've explored the concept of a global president from multiple angles, weighing the pros and cons and delving into the potential outcomes. It's a topic that sparks intense debate and raises numerous questions about the future of our world. The idea of a global president is a wild ride, full of potential benefits and disastrous pitfalls. On one hand, it could unify nations, streamline global policies, and address worldwide issues more effectively. Imagine a world where decisions are made with a global perspective, prioritizing the well-being of humanity as a whole. Would it lead to world peace and economic prosperity? Picture a scenario where countries collaborate seamlessly, sharing resources and knowledge to tackle challenges like climate change, poverty, and pandemics. A global president could potentially foster a sense of unity and cooperation that transcends borders. Or would it be a one-way ticket to chaos and tyranny? The concentration of power in a single individual could lead to authoritarian rule with devastating consequences for personal freedoms and democracy. History has shown us the dangers of unchecked power, and a global president could become a symbol of oppression rather than unity. Honestly, it's impossible to say for sure. The future is uncertain, and the outcome of such a radical change in governance is unpredictable. There are too many variables at play, from cultural differences to political interest, that could influence the success or failure of a global presidency. It's a concept that raises more questions than it answers. How would elections be conducted? What checks and balances would be in place to prevent abuse of power? How would different cultures and ideologies be represented and respected? These are just a few of the many questions that need to be addressed. But one thing's for sure, it's a heck of a lot more complicated than a catchy slogan. The idea of a global president is not just a simple solution to the world's problems. It requires careful consideration, extensive planning, and a deep understanding of the complexities involved in global governance. And that, my friends, is the world of politics in a nutshell. It's a realm where idealism meets reality, where grand visions are tempered by practical challenges, and where the quest for a better world is an ongoing journey. Whether the idea of a global president becomes a reality or remains a thought experiment, it serves as a reminder of the complexities and possibilities that define our world.